Canal Street is notorious for the, was it a black, not black market. It's a, I mean, I guess
it is kind of,
It's a bunch of
yeah.
black dudes, so it's a black market. Can I say that? It is. There's a bunch of people who will sell counterfeit items for all the designers, whether it's Louis Vuitton, Chanel, you name it, they are selling all these items outside. And it's one of the most fascinating things because my office is on Soho, so you see it every day where, and this is definitely me stereotyping, but you see people who look like they can afford the real thing. You could definitely tell there's a lot of foreigners, a lot of Europeans who are there, who are buying these fake items. And it's one thing where I've never understood it.
Yeah.
And then I was listening to a podcast, Jeff Teague's podcast, and he was telling a story of how, see, he's a former NBA player. They had a preseason trip to China, and on the trip, the owner's wife was buying a bunch of fake designer items. Again, owner's wife, billionaire's wife, multi-billionaire. To own a sports team, you need to be a multi-billionaire.
Yeah.
So she can clearly afford it, and she was doing that. And then I was I was having a conversation with someone in the fashion industry who also was like, oh yeah, like people who can afford it and a lot of rich people also like mix in some of the fake stuff with the real stuff. What is your view on people buying fake designer?
I'm not a fan of it, but I'm not a fan of it because I was always raised in a mindset of like, save your money to buy the real thing because it'll be more fulfilling. Like that's something my father has always taught me. Even, and of course it wasn't like Chanel bags that we were thinking about, but maybe it was like Jordans or, you know, like a really nice like outfit, right? And we were also thinking from the mindset of like quality. It makes more sense that way. But I've never been a huge fan of people, I guess, buying, like spending a couple $100s on like the faker version, but it does make sense. I don't know. I'm not a fan of it, but I also understand it. I also know a lot of like people with a lot of money, they buy real like certain bags, but jewelry for sure. I know that that's another thing that they'll like go to a jeweler and they'll get real gold plated and it'll look like the Van Cleef like bracelets and it's real gold, but they're not paying the like extra $1,000 or $2,000 on top of it for the name. That makes perfect sense to me because it's amazing quality.
Yeah.
But then I'm also like, why does it have to be the Van Cleef though? Like, why don't you just get a gold plated bracelet? You know,
because it's not Van Cleef.
And so I think that's when it becomes a little bit like we're chasing labels, which we
definitely are though. Like
we definitely are. But I guess that's like why my mindset is like, I would rather just be able to afford the real Chanel bag versus buying a fake Chanel bag.